It's the last match of the day here in Seattle, and what a good one it is. You got FaZe Clan going up against Sentinels. I'm Golden Boy. You got Walshy here to cover all the action, and guys, this is going to be an excellent matchup. Sentinels, of course, looking to try and send the defending world champions home, and FaZe, they're trying to keep their tournament life alive, Dave.
Yeah, and when you think about these two rosters as they're coming in today, Sentinels, they're focused on these big four teams. They know they have to get these upsets in order to make it to those further rounds. Whereas someone like FaZe, they've just been focusing on Shopify, Optic, and Space Station.
So you feel like that's a good opportunity for Sentinels maybe to catch FaZe off guard?
It's an opportunity, nonetheless. But FaZe, clearly the favorites here, but you know, Worlds does not do anyone favors at this point. You have to earn your spot into the Sunday.
That's right, folks. Well, in case you hadn't seen it, what your series layout was going to be was CTF Imperium. You had Slayer Solitude, Stronghold Live Fire, but we're kicking things off with some CTF on Imperium here, aka the Pit, to start off this last match of the day. Our last match was the Battle of the Green Teams. Now it's the Battle of the Red Teams. Here we go. Kicking it off with Renegade out of the break here. He ends up finding a couple people over here toward that sword bridge, and like immediately, Dave, you just start to see these players just going up, all up in each other's grills.
Also surprised nobody checked Banana. That used to be like the #1 spot people would go in Halo 3. As you just jump up there, you know there'd be a battle for Banana going down, but looks like Rocket's in the hands of LethuL, FaZe's former teammate here. Let's see what he can do.
Now, a lot of history here. You know, the 3 members of Port of FaZe, of SnakeBite World 2, and Frosty represented the Sentinels organization at one point in time. Wanted to play with Renegade, and now here they are on this FaZe lineup. They've had some success with them, but they want, with Renegade rather, but they all want to be able to walk away with another World Championship title. Standing in their way, though, it's going to be Sentinels.
Ooh, and this is going to be trouble here for Sentinels. Both snipers in the hands of FaZe, along with Frosty being at the tower of Sentinels. Somehow it's that no-scope there. I thought he's just wasting ammo, but I guess he's hitting bodies at the same time.
Might as well, you know, if you do 2 things at once, right? Waste some shots, get some shots. Might as well. Frosty, though, he's got his eyes. He only has 1 shot left on him, but he's got eyes on the target. 2 players down now. That's going to be the opportunity here for FaZe to start this flag push. And because he has that last snipe, he might try and take advantage of it, which is exactly what he does. And he's looking, Frosty, to get the cross here. He got Precision looking to challenge. He's going to be gone and out of this fight, and they're going to try and continue to march this flag forward.
And just so severely outslaying Sentinels right here. It's 11
there
kills for FaZe, 5 kills for Sentinels. I mean, you're looking at Frosty has more kills than the entire Sentinels rosters combined. Now they're tied up.
They finally had to get rid of Frosty from the back of their base. At some point in time, you had to clear him out.
Well, the games change, the way they play changes, but one thing remains the same. On Pit, you got to keep your tower. You can't let them get sniped on your tower, and that resulted in that first cap.
You're going to be seeing a lot of players just trying to fight for that. You're so right on that one. SnakeBite looking to go and get that no-scope, but it doesn't come to fruition for himself there. So you jump back over to World 2's POV. He knows he's got eyes on the target, which he ends up identifying here. That's going to be a clean double kill for World 2, eliminating those 2 threats from their base.
Yeah, just clearing out their side. They don't want anyone sneaking around behind them. And they're just going to slowly push in. Looks like World 2 just waiting for those rockets and going to play these nice and patient. I don't think there's a more patient player than World 2. Can you name one? I can't. This guy will happily sit back, push up at his leisure.
I mean, I saw you get 0 kills and have strong side get everything.
What? That's not patience. I wasn't even there. I just come back and strong side won the match.
Just a terrible person. As we see, take a trip for that one, Renegade. Goodbye, my friend. But got this flagpole starting to happen here. 2 players down now for FaZe, and it's going to get stopped in its tracks. Oh, that was just so close. Doesn't nail the shot. Perfectly fine with it, though. Surveying, seeing where things are going to be coming from. What's the push happening here? Like, how is this going to play out for Sentinels as they're looking to make a play?
Yeah, Sniper's been spotted. Frosty going to reposition here. But look how passive he's playing. He does not want to overextend. He wants to keep that snipe up. Precision has something else to say. Gets that first pick onto Frosty, and you know the push from Sentinels is coming in.
Yeah, that is exactly what they needed in that situation. And Precision knew that someone was going to be around there, and he waited that one out. A lot of patience, and he outpatient World 2, who was the patient person. Yeah, I don't even know if that's a word.
I was outpatient there. I mean, he turned around, got the kill. All right, now we got a sniper standoff. once again. So even though Precision was able to get that pick and also a nice turnaround kill on LethuL there, unfortunately Sentinels were not able to take over the tower and get that sniper in their own hands.
It's going to be a game of inches here for Sentinels, and FaZe aren't going to give him anything to work with. Precision trying to find the opening, but there's LethuL off of the reposition. Frosty was hanging out over toward that tower for a good portion of time, but LethuL brought that right on over to the sword bridge, or sorry, to the sword area. And LethuL's just going to protect his teammate here, just try and see if they can go ahead and push inside of this base, get that flag moving, get that second cap on the board here. SnakeBite is going to get taken out, but he will find someone from the grave. Got 2 players weakened down low as well.
Yeah, SnakeBite got that pancake kill over into S1. Patient these challenges. These players are just so dangerous, especially with the Bandit when it comes to doing these peek shots around any sort of geometry.
Yeah, they've gotten so good with it, man. Like the way that it's just the constant strafing, the jiggle peeking, all that stuff has just been very, very impressive from all these players across the board. As we continue to survey the land here and what's going on, you got yourself an opportunity now for LethuL and the boys in Sentinels. They got themselves the rockets. Let's see what they can do with this.
Yeah, Rockets being aggressive with it. On top of that, bubu dubu over at the opposite hut. So they're trying to get this help right away. LethuL unfortunately trading a 1-for-1 there, but bubu still staying alive on top hut. And until they take care of him, which SnakeBite finally did, I was gonna say, FaZe could not rest easy. They have to get that clearance. Otherwise, they just know they can't push out anywhere. They can't really safely push out through Plat or Green or Needle with that threat on top turret.
Yeah, that was the reason why you ended up seeing FaZe in the early parts of this game get that first flag cap, and it was because of some great presence in the backfield from Frosty, and they're looking to replicate that same success here again with this next push.
One benefit Sentinels have right now is they know 2 players over on the sword side. If they wanted to use their numbers advantage, they could push through Green and Hall, send 3 players through, but it seems like they didn't have the position. That's gonna be Renegade getting another pick, and it looks like fighting for their own side is gonna be the play that Sentinels opts for.
Could end up getting a couple more players here for FaZe down if you're Sen, but there's no one in the vicinity to try and push those weakened players over toward the training. LethuL, big melee there, removing that player, so one of the more forward players trying to threaten the flag of FaZe Clan. Oh. Nice shot there from LethuL, connecting on to his former captain.
LethuL still wants to make sure he does not lose the sniper.
Woo.
He has some help, but he doesn't need it.
Let him know.
Send him to respawn screen. I believe SnakeBite's gonna try to get that old snipe. I don't know what happened to their snipe over on the FaZe side, but flag at least got tossed out. Falcated and bubu try and do everything they can. You gotta wonder, what does LethuL do in this case? Seems like Precision Falcated somehow picking off a couple kills despite not having this help from all the way across the map.
And this is going to give LethuL a great opportunity to go a little bit more in a forward position here, try and cover his teammates as they bring that flag across to their side of the map. End up losing the teammate by the tower side, so LethuL needs to be careful about that. Big tag there. Should help his teammate out, but it ends up not really working out there as both players end up getting removed from that, and effectively this pull rather, is done.
Yeah, overall a great attempt, but I think there's 2 missing pieces there from Sentinels. One, it felt like they had an indecisive route.
Yes.
Wasn't certain if they were gonna go Plat to Green or if they're gonna run it straight over towards Snipe Hut and go towards Street or Runway. And then secondly, I felt like LethuL was not able to get an angle there throughout that time. He just has top tower, and I feel like at some point, if you're not able to get the angle and you know you have those distractions, you need to just fly over towards bridge and make yourself a factor in that fight.
Yeah.
They cannot ignore you when you have snipe over on bridge.
Well, SnakeBite's trying to make sure that no one can, everyone has to pay attention to him and no one ignores him with this flag play that he's making here. He's got himself a decent amount of kills with those rockets. And he wants to bring this one forward again. Success as he crosses that 50-yard line and gets across the halfway point here. Is this going to be flag cap number 2 here for FaZe Clan as Sentinels have no one in the vicinity to be able to stop this, and that will be number 2 locked in for FaZe.
And that's just so tough there for Sentinels. They had control for such an extended period of time over on the FaZe base, and it felt like FaZe got in, got the job done real quick.
Felt really clean.
Ran away with the cap, yeah.
Yeah.
Felt like there was very little resistance. SnakeBite, just once he got that to S1, felt like he didn't have anyone else there from Sentinels threatening him.
Yeah, and even that, the player who challenged SnakeBite for that second rocket kill, that one was, pretty pivotal for them there too, because he ends up, losing out on that when that player gets ahead of the rocket for whatever reason, and that push, this flag cap ends up dying, and they could end up, getting a power weapon out of that or whatever the case may be, but instead you got FaZe Clan that are sitting pretty with 2 flags currently. Falcated looking to get inside of the enemy tower here and see if he can just cause some carnage with this battle rifle. The callouts were coming in. They had to worry about the player over toward the box. That was Precision, but Falcated is like, hey, don't forget about me.
Falcated's been such a nuisance over at the FaZe base. That last time when we saw bubu and Falcated over there, they lived for so long and somehow just picking up those kills. And here we see Falcated once again gain that sniper, being a distraction behind the base. Only downside there, would love to have seen him toss off that sniper, use a little bit more ammo. You don't want to give a full sniper to someone like Renegade. Here comes the toss out. What route does bubu take this flag? They have it on plat, which is okay if they go quick with it, but you don't want that flag just sitting out in the open on plat. It's just a sitting duck.
Yeah, and with those two players down now, I mean, it will be incredible if Sentinels are able to continue with this flagpole, but that is not going to happen as Renegade shuts down a weakened Falcated over toward their green, and that will be the end of that full 2 minutes as we get to that 2-minute warning here for this FaZe Sentinels game 1. And it's been so far FaZe with a rather comfortable approach. You know, as we were mentioning before in that second flag cap that we ended up seeing from SnakeBite and the boys, they just marched in, grabbed the flag, left, and then capped it. You know, kind of cash by.
It was just political there. So well done. And here comes a melee battle. Nice trade, 1-for-1 there by Precision. Take out the OS player. Great trade, but end of the day, Sentinels, they need to get a few slays and get a double cap, which is a tall order, especially considering they weren't able to transition to 1 cap when they had control of the FaZe base for about a minute and a half.
Yeah, and now Frosty is just putting rough shot all over these people here. 2 big rocket kills are going to clear things out. He saw that sniper available as well. He wanted to go after it, the Sentinel snipe, but ends up getting picked off there.
Look at this. Royal 2 recognizing probably one of the only ways that they'll lose here is if their base gets fully overrun. So he's taking over his top tower. Somehow runs on out, feeling like he wants to take some more ground over at Sword, but gets popped by those 2 players at Sword runway.
And it's just so great how FaZe are just constantly in that rotational mindset, right? Like, okay, they ended up losing that player in the top tower, and then where was Frosty in that position? He was right by the box, watching the cross toward this Sword area. So he was the player that was naturally going to be moving into that area. It's just that coordination that FaZe has that really puts them above a lot of the competition.
Yep, just prioritizing where they need to be. Also in certain situations, wow, SnakeBite hitting what you know is a no-scope, seeing how he has 1 shot in that position. But one thing that these players and teams now really prioritize is sometimes when they're down in numbers, they'll try to push out one side. They realize that if they just stay static and sit back on their own base, they'll just get pushed in and collapsed on. So they'll sometimes find out, where's our best avenue? Where can we get even or an advantageous fight as they push on through?
It's got to make those split-second decisions. That's what separates the best, you know, from, you know, the beast. Because everyone here in this competition is incredible. But with only 4 seconds left on the clock, 2 flags counted, that is going to do it. FaZe walk away with game 1, and my, oh my, they just, that was clean. Look, that was clean.
They were in control the whole time. And there's nothing that feels better when you're in one of those games. You just get the first flag early on. You know what I mean? They got that first snipe over the tower, get that first cap.
There was no response,
they don't have to worry about, no counter. And that's just such a comfortable position for FaZe to be in, as they don't have to worry about forcing some action. They kind of let the game play out, eventually get their second cap as they get control. So just well done by FaZe there.
Well played indeed. A clean 2-0 finish for them. We'll give them that first pivotal map win here in the elimination bracket. Tournament life on the line for both of these squads, obviously. But FaZe looking to make it to Championship Sunday, and not just make it to Championship Sunday, but defend their title that they have won last year right here in this very venue.
That's true. It's not a statement we think we'd be making at this point. You know, if you asked us last year, we're like, hey, is this team just going to roll through and win the majority of the tournaments next year? Not the case. Space Station. You got Space Station dominating this year so far. Right here, like you said, their defense of the World Championship on the line against Sentinels here on Saturday.
They were playing some damn good Halo on that one, but not out of it by a long shot for Sentinels. We're going into some, I believe, Solitude Slayer, which will be game number 2. So there is a great chance there for, you know, the likes of Falcated, for Precision maybe to, you know, get the hot hand. LethuL, who, you know, picking up a decent amount of frags in that last game as well, and we were seeing him do some work with that snipe.
Yeah, making a statement against his former teammates. Has a little something to prove.
But now here we go. You got Solitude Slayer coming up next. Stronghold's live fire will be map number 3, and let's see how Sentinels rally back here. Damn right it is. Love coming here for the Halo World Championship. It's a great time, great time. But as we set our sights on what we're about to watch over here for Sentinels, how do you feel about this team coming into this one, Dave? That one was more base control. You know, CTF's always a hard one to gauge when you go into a Slayer, but how you feeling for Sentinels?
I mean, they still have an absolute great chance in this game. Let's see if they get the start that they need. Let's see if they can capitalize when they have the advantage. I felt like they stayed alive at the FaZe base for so long and did so well, but weren't able to translate that into objective capture. Whereas here on Slayer, if they're staying alive against Slays, guess what? The objective's done right there. It's just get the most kills and stay alive.
What I find fascinating about that, though, Dave, is that this was a criticism that we had of FaZe. Nice shots there from SnakeBite. But this was a criticism that we had of FaZe and SLC, right? Like, where's the objective efficiency? And the amount of work that these boys have put in to address that is very much being seen by everyone here at the venue, and how they've been playing this is so impressive. But
oh my God, this one's already slowed down this much. 1 kill lead. LethuL wants to make use of this camo. What's going to be his route in? He decides to go in through this narrow opening here on LR. Once he's spotted, he's like, I'm out. All right, camo ain't going to be used this time around, boys.
Ooh, and he ends up getting the trade on that one. So not all that much, but what you have are some members of Sentinels that are going to be pinned in here. So maybe you can try and collapse on this and clear out these individuals and get yourself a couple kills, but it only really amounts to a +1.
I believe it's a 4v4 trade there, because I believe FaZe had the 1 kill lead.
Oh yeah, you're right.
5-4, and then, 9-8. So even trades there in a spot where FaZe had shock rifle and FaZe had camo. So let's see what happens now that gets more on even footing when it comes to weapons. Wow, Precision. His movement just moves so fast there.
Yeah.
I feel like my Spartan doesn't go that quick, GB.
No, mine definitely doesn't. I don't know, maybe had a couple burgers or something. I don't know. My boy been moving real slow out there.
Been eating a lot over at Mombasa.
Mombasa burgers, good, yo. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of hype for Precision. He has been very impressive in the games that we've been had a chance to cast him on, and also in the series as well so far. He's had some great moments. But FaZe, they're gonna want to try and shut that down, and for Precision, he's gonna need plenty more great moments if they want to try to come back into this one. 5 kills now separating them. We were talking about how this was such a close game just a second ago, but as we alluded to in our BravoCast earlier today, we're like, dude, you know, you can be talking 1-1. It's like a tied game the entire time. It's 1 kill separating them, and then out of nowhere, it's a 10 kill lead. It's wild.
Yeah. When these teams start to get on a roll, and there's the opening kill, they get out Precision. What does FaZe do in this situation? Do they know where the other players are at? It looks like the battle's going on over at Snipe Tower and over at Blue.
Dubu's in a rough spot there, so he'll get picked off. See where Falcated is positioned for Blue, and look at that, he got that ledge cover as well. But, oh my word, great nade there from Frosty. Just set it and forget it. Gives him the kill, gives him number 20, and that'll be 21 courtesy of World 2. So now you're starting to see FaZe run away with this one, Dave, and Sentinels need to rally back somehow, some way.
And unfortunately, for Sentinels, FaZe have control of shock rifle side. They're going to grab that brand new fresh shock rifle. Let's see what Frosty decides to do with it. If too many of his teammates fall down, he's going to just start to waste this a little bit. He doesn't want a full shock rifle to go in their hands.
Also, you know, a little pre-fire too. See if someone's going to try and jump around that corner. Get some value from it if you can. But he'll continue to hold this angle. You hear some of the carnage happening up above Frosty here. The Sentinel's trying to make the push happen.
He's going to shoot a couple more. Here he is. He's going to waste as much as he can.
That's
like he finally gets finished off by bubu and Precision. So only 2 bolts left. But look at that gap closed instantly, GB. What was an 8-kill game, now a 3-kill game here. So incredible exchange there for Sentinels, despite not having shock rifle. Somehow making the best of that position, and now they got FaZe trapped in yard. It's not over yet. They can still close in on this and close this gap further with this current positioning.
Yeah, and you definitely need to give the flowers in that instance to bubu there. That push over toward the snipe side, they identified where that snipe was, and they did not give Frosty any angles to work with. So that is a big positive for them, but you know, you talk about chopping down that lead here, it's still a lead for FaZe, and each and every time these fights happen, these ones take place, it seems like you get that trade, you're fine. You're FaZe, you're chilling.
Look at that patience there from LethuL. Even though he sees the player over towards top snipe. He gets those first 2 bullets and then instantly drops to worry about closer by threat. Wonder if someone's coming through posters. Wonder if someone's coming through loop. He didn't want to take 1 shot of damage in case somebody is rounding that corner. And that's what these players and teams are doing at the highest level. They're getting some damage across the map and then focused on the next threat and opportunity.
Yeah, putting down a couple shots, slowing down any of the plays that could maybe come to form from, you know, Sentinels is pretty vital here, but there is certainly a lot of work that Sentinels need to do here because so far they have been unable to make much of an impact here as the scoreboard just continues to climb in the favor of FaZe. They've identified where one of those players are going to be located as bubu, but LethuL had his buddies back, so now they can try maybe use this opening to get themselves a couple more kills. It's going to be 2 down on the side of FaZe here. You only got 1 here for Sen, so they'll be fighting in a 3v2 at least until that player came up off of the respawn here. But they don't really get to work with much because they're in this low position and they got to get a little higher up.
Yeah, it feels like they're just lurking down low a little too long over a hotel or bottom lift, and in those positions can't really do much, can't punish.
No, not on this map. Very difficult to do so here. LethuL trying to coordinate with his teammate here. They're both going to be able to stay alive to take this fight.
Great evasion there from LethuL's teammate. I didn't see who else was with him over at the cafe, but making sure that doesn't trade out with the melee.
Precision.
Exactly. It's one of those situations where if you have numbers, you aren't trying to go 1 for 1 there when you have a 2 versus 1 advantage.
Speaking of him, great help as LethuL was jiggle peeking that fight and ended up coming up on top there thanks to Precision. But every single time you know we've been focused on LethuL's POV, it truly has just been FaZe. You know, you get a kill, they'll find another one. They get a kill, they'll get 2 more. And this has been pretty frustrating, I can only imagine, for Sentinels, because every single time it looks like they're moving around the map, they get an opening, FaZe just shut the door.
Yep. Just as soon as they close that gap to around 3 kills, it extends back once again to the 8 or 9 mark. Given the shock rifle over to the camo player, which I mean, even if you didn't have camo, I would still throw it in Renegade's hands. A pretty safe spot to be.
Renegade has got this overlook spot. And they know, too, that's why they're not trying to push so aggressively there, but they know he's around here because at the very least, you put a shot down, you got to tag mid-bridge, so you had to assume Camel's going to be present, and that's going to be a headshot there. Another one goes down off screen as well. 44 points here for FaZe, 33 for Sentinels, and they're having a hard time crossing that 40-point threshold for Sen. FaZe are looking good.
This one's gonna be so tough to come back from here. I mean, at this point, when Renegade's hitting shots like that, they're up by 11 kills. I mean, at some point, even if FaZe get wiped here, they can start to play some corners, start to go for some trades. So it's really looking dire here for Sentinels here in game number 2.
But we have seen in the past when you have these deficits,
at the same time,
sometimes some wild stuff happens. But I just don't know if FaZe are going to let those shenanigans fly here. They just locked in their 48th. Looking to secure the last 2.
They know so many players over at Loop and Yard, and they're going to collapse in. Here they come. Renegade finds the one who wasn't over at Loop. And then here comes the rest of the collapse. Over at Posters, they're going to have the height advantage. Charge them at Loop, and they just got to get one of the finishes or trades. That's going to be Royal 2. Clearing it out against his old teammate, LethuL.
Well played by FaZe Clan. 50-42 finish there for them. Granted, you saw some pretty awesome moments from the likes of Precision, even from LethuL. Bubu Dubu had some big plays too, but really, FaZe Clan, start to finish, no slowing down, not giving up control. It's very clear that Sentinels will need to find an answer going into this map 3, because as it stands right now, whatever Sentinels are doing here, it's simply just not working against the might of FaZe Clan.
No, not enough. I mean, obviously you got outslayed in both games, clearly more so in game number 2, which is a Slayer. But at some point, they're going to have to try to match that firepower. They have moments where certain players are individually stepping it up. You saw LethuL going off and doing great in game number 1. You saw Precision start off hot in game number 2. They just all need to be clicking, though, if they want to have a chance in this series. But the way that it's headed right now, it's looking like FaZe could send us home early on Saturday.
Yeah, this is a certainly going to be a tough matchup, though. Both teams coming into this one with a positive record for Strongholds as a game mode. But FaZe Clan in these game 3 situations when they're up 2-0 and your back is against a wall, I can't think of a worse team.
Yeah, exactly. Like when you start to think about like some of these juggernauts of squads, you usually are in a spot where you're hoping that you get up 2-0 on them and you're like, all right, we somehow still need to close this out against them because you can't give them any footing in it. But when you're put in a position where you're already down 0-2 against a squad like FaZe, I bet I couldn't even count on one hand the amount of times that teams have come back from these sort of situations against a squad like FaZe.
It would be, you know, one of the greatest comebacks of all time.
It would be, and what an event to do it.
Yeah.
So, Sentinels, right here, right now, they need to pick it up on live fire strongholds. Lucky for them, this one's gonna be fast. Lucky. They need to pick up something that's a little quicker, because clearly as the game slowed down, some things weren't going their way. So I think they're gonna want to try to just press this advantage, see what they can get right off the rip here on live fire.
Yeah, you just cannot slow the game down, I think, against FaZe. They're fine with that. You don't want to give PJ time to think about what the strategy is going to be. You don't want to give Frosty an opportunity to get information in a comfortable fashion. You got to go quick. You got to push that go button and fly at these fools. That's how you have to do it if you're Sentinels at this point. You have no other choice, because it's either that or you're cooked, you're going home. Your tournament is over. So you might as well just send it all out there right now. Let's do this. Let's see if FaZe can close it out 3-0, or if Sentinels can find some life in the series.
All right, and who's gonna get this opening win here? Two players flying across top center. It looks like FaZe are gonna go 2 for 2, but I don't see who got the sniper. Weird battle there, but Renegade walking away with a triple kill.
And he got the sniper. He ended up getting it when it was all said and done. We'll see how he plays with this.
I like this play by both teams, though. Both going for the opposite stronghold. Rather than instantly sitting in B and trying to go for a neutral stronghold, take something away from the opponent. If you have an opportunity to take something that's neutral or something away from your opponent, you always go for the opponent if it's that option.
Renegade thought he could have helped his teammate out there, but instead he'll get that camo. He's got that sniper too. He's got a decent amount of shots left in there. 4 to work with. Oh, but he got a player down low there and a QT as well to his left, so he's a little cautious.
Keeping eyes on it.
Uh-huh.
Looking at him a little mean like that. Well, let's see what he can do with the remainder of this camo. Not much left. Can he break this C setup? He gets the first pick, gets the second, making another triple. 2 triples here for Renegade to kick off this game. We were hoping, as a Sentinels fan, you want to see them step it up. You want to see them bring some life into it. But when you have someone like Renegade just going off almost on a killing frenzy, it's got to suck the life out of you. That's so tough as a Sentinels fan.
Yeah, you know what's crazy too is that he's got more kills than the combined amount of Sentinels right now. He's got more kills than his
insane.
team. So he's a great start here for Renegade off the back of 2 massive triple kills that get them A and B control.
One thing that's a silver lining though, as a Sentinels fan, is even though Renegade's got those 2 triple kills, you're not in this wild scenario where it's out of reach for the game so far. They're only up by about 25 points.
Yeah.
Not that significant.
Hey, you would think with that it would be a
when somebody's going like on an 8-0 run, you'd expect, all right, they're up by 50, 75 points. So yes, the time's ticking up. Yes, they had a temporary trip cap, but game is still not out of reach.
Yeah, and it's stronghold, so when you manage to flip those, you'll prevent your teammate or your opponent from accruing score, and you will instead be the beneficiary of that. You get that trip cap, you gain even more points faster. That's the name of the game here, and that's what Sentinels need to do.
Okay, and Sentinels being the aggressor now, almost going for their own trip cap. I like this play from LethuL. Buying some time, staying alive towards top tower. Let's see how he decides to stop this push coming in from FaZe.
So far, it's been his teammates that have found the success, taking out World 2 and Renegade. As LethuL works with Precision here toward the B side. They got a great setup here. This BC control, the way that LethuL's kind of just going back and forth between the nest and over toward green and just supporting where he sees the angles of present to him. Very well played.
Yeah, very well played there. Very patient. Didn't get a chance to snag that sniper. Now see where LethuL decides to play with this one. Because you're in a position when you have C and B, you can just sit top tower. You have angles from both sides. But we're going to see if FaZe allows LethuL to get set up at the top tower.
It seemed like he wants to try and go for that one quite yet because he saw Precision ended up dying toward B.
Wow.
Shot there. Looking for another one. Frosty's
LethuL's turn. He gets that first pick. He and his teammate gonna go on in. They get SnakeBite, sticks him on top of the head with the plasma grenade. That's gonna be 3 down, and this game is now in favor of Sentinels. So what was a spectacular start here for FaZe has been negated completely.
Yeah, it's like those 2 triple kills are like forever ago at this point. With how
distant memory, like, yo, remember that time I got those triples? Dude, Renegade said this in the past, man.
What happened in the game, bro? Oh, well, we lost the lead, you see? But we try to come back.
But that first triple was so sick,
dude, it was in my montage. I'm telling you, it was in my montage. Yeah, but here is a Sentinels that is now starting to feel very, very confident. I really like seeing LethuL with this snipe, man. He just takes risk, and I think that's what they need here.
And also it's very interesting how this has felt very chaotic. It's very calculated here from the Sentinel side. They've had the setup. They go towards bridge. They just constantly keep people out from big door or from bags going towards B. And it's a really tough setup that I don't know what the best push is from FaZe to break, especially when Sentinels had that sniper rifle.
I kind of feel like at this point for FaZe, you know, you just want to be able to do like a full push, like just like 3 people, maybe 1 off the flank, and you're just committing to just one side maybe. But the problem is to your point, Dave, is that every single time you go through one of those chokes, you're just getting drained.
And also the second that FaZe leave A, it gets capped behind them for a trip cap. SnakeBite just trying to stop the bleeding here from trip cap. Bubu dubu in a one-on-one against SnakeBite. SnakeBite comes out ahead, gets that killjoy, putting a stop to Bubu's killing spree.
Look at this score. Sentinels continuing to add on. FaZe look lost. They got to get on this one. They got to do it fast because the time is ticking. And you're seeing them making that attempt for a trip cap, but they lose out on A, but that's okay for FaZe. They'll be fine getting that CB control.
All right, now it's FaZe's turn. They have the CB setup. Can they run it for as extended of a period as we saw from Sentinels? I don't think so. I felt like that Sentinels setup was so strong and so good. I would expect FaZe at some point, their game plan here is to get a couple kills and try to turn this into trip cap. They don't want to try to hold this BC setup for 100 points. And just as I say that, B has already been, or sorry, C has already been flipped.
Yeah.
So they have A, B setup now.
Renegade waiting to see if anyone's going to try and push bottom mid. He hears the slides coming in. Big melee for the trade there. We'll take out 2 members on each side of the field. So for now, though, with the A and B control, FaZe are perfectly fine with trading out on those players, considering that they have that in their grasp right now. Big reset, too, so they'll continue to accrue.
Let's see what he decides to do with this. Throws the QT in the bottom B. Does he go decide to defend A, or you push towards C here? I like this play. You're already there. Get the reset.
Yep.
LethuL gets this reset, but I don't think he's aware of how many people are around him right now in that garage. LethuL, bubu, and Falcated all rotated on over towards A.
They have to anticipate that he's going to be here because it's such a common spot for the QT, which is why LethuL looks over toward the side. Love that play.
Yeah, but he has no exit back now.
He
We're
really
going to do on a QT and back there. Luckily, QT is out. That's not going to be a mistake coming out of Royal 2.
Royal 2 now.
But pretty cool move, though.
Oh, yeah, it was great. I loved it. Looked like a movie. You know what I mean?
And honestly, like, players will miss shots when you do situations like that, where you just jump somewhere else obscure. Like, it just sometimes throws that little bit of confusion in.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like, wait,
what's going on there? I'm not planning on aiming there, and I know I can still hit this, but what are you doing there?
Yeah, exactly. Throwing them off a little bit here, but now look at what we're seeing from Sentinels. They want to get themselves another trip cap here. They want to end this game as fast as possible, and they got it locked in. But they are losing C, just as I say that.
Yeah, either way, they're still getting some points on the board. Sentinels just looking like they're outmaneuvering FaZe every single way here. And that's surprising. So it felt like when FaZe got their setup, they first got there around 50 points. And then when they got that setup later in the game, around another 50 points. It feels like when Sentinels got that first major setup where they got around that 150-point run,
yeah,
you haven't really seen FaZe get back in the game yet.
Yeah, they have certainly struggled to do so. We were commending Renegade for his incredible start, but I think, you know, the rest of the FaZe squad certainly hasn't been able to keep up with him, at least in this game. Certainly possible for them to wake up here, especially with Frosty holding his camo, and he can do some incredible things with it, but he's got to make some plays here because time is ticking.
Yeah, he's hoping to be a bit more aggressive with this, but I think he's between 2 players there on bags. Yes, you heard those footsteps just barely right behind him, but he was already committed in that direction, tries to get that first finish, and here comes the charge from Sentinels. That's going to be 2 down here for FaZe, and you know they're not going to just stop at that.
No, they're not. They can't at this point in time. With 239 to 111, they have no other choice. They got to play aggressive, and they got to get in Sentinels' face. But Sentinels is sitting pretty. They just cannot put their foot off of the gas here. They got to end it here and now. You got to close this match out.
I really like this spot here from Precision. We saw this spot being used earlier by Frosty as well, just sitting on that scoreboard side. But just able to dodge any grenades, able to be a factor as soon as anyone goes towards bags. And here comes the AC setup. At this point, you don't really need to get a setup if you're Sentinels.
Yeah.
They just need to get some slays and keep any 2 strongholds. It doesn't have to be clean. It can just be any messy setup that they would like.
Well, they want to try and remove this player from A, but they are going to be capping C here, so you won't have Sentinels getting any points right now. 247, you only need 3 points to win this one. You just got to flip B. That's it if you are Sentinels. But they got to do it soon. Because if they're not careful, FaZe can run away with this. But here comes the C flip, and you're expecting on the opposite side of that to potentially see the A push there, but a big stop coming through, and B and C still in the control of FaZe.
Precision, the newest addition to this roster, has been stepping it up for this squad. Look at his numbers, 22 and 12 so far this game against one of the best teams in the world here against FaZe.
Trip cap alert, FaZe got it locked in, but they still got a lot of hill to climb there, so it will be very tough. But if they manage to do so, absolute insanity. That being said, B is currently being captured, and look at the push.
It's gonna be tough. Here comes the same setup, the exact same setup we saw before. They hold B, they have someone on Nest Bridge. I like this play by Falcated, backs down, doesn't overcommit towards C, and now is regrouping with his teammates on the charge. So they all commit SnakeBite and LethuL commit in C because they were required to. Sentinels come through, clear it out, get C, and we're just gonna see a lot of desperate charges here from FaZe just to keep this game going.
Yep, they certainly are. They got 4 players over here toward B, but they got the flip on C and B, and that is all that matters. Sentinels get their first in the series.
GB, we got ourselves a series.
They needed it.
I mean, it was looking like it was lights out for a second after we saw that start from Renegade. I thought it was just gonna be series over, end the broadcast. Thank you all for watching. See you on Sunday, but no. We got ourselves a legitimate series right now.
Oh yeah, indeed we do. Sentinels answering back. What felt like a hot start for FaZe ended up fizzling out toward the end, and Sentinels off of some great plays from LethuL with the sniper, Precision with just some awesome movement and great command of the map. You also had bubu dubu, Falcated there, just constantly being just a presence on the site and allowing the people with the hot hands to be the difference makers in those fights. It worked out very well for them. Sentinels, we're asking a question. What do they got to do? Where's the answers? What's going on? And they figured it out in the most pivotal game that this team has played in this tournament, because they would have been eliminated had they lost this.
Yeah, such a crucial one. Also, look at that. I just looked at the stats over there for Precision earlier part of this game. He was at like 13 when his closest teammate was at 7 kills.
Wow. Impressive stuff there.
Strong start they need to have them go on that spree.
But I think that is what makes FaZe such a scary team when I think about that potential comeback. Because
yeah, as soon as I saw him get that trip cap, I was like, this one is not over just yet.
Yeah, like this is bad. And then you get Precision, a massive body shot with that snipe, clearing that player in mid, and then that just opened the door for them to be able to prevent them from getting a comfortable push and get control of the map. So there you have it. Well played there by Sentinels. Now we'll make our way over to some oddball on recharge. And taking a look at the historical data for both of these teams, pretty much the same thing. You know, 2-1 for FaZe, 2-2 for Sentinels. But here are your guys that are going to be primarily handling that objective.
Look at those two, SnakeBite and bubu. The other thing like a bubu's photo is like, when you look at it from this angle, he's showing up at #1. You go the other side, he's telling you to be quiet.
That's true. That's true. Is he #1 or does he require silence? We'll never know. We'll have to ask him. Meanwhile, SnakeBite just, I think,
also those percentages, like 45 and 52% for how much ball time they're getting. We talk about how all these players are so well-rounded that they can do every role.
Yeah.
But even at the highest level of play, there's just some specialization that comes in on these teams on some of these modes, from who's grabbing the flag to who's getting more ball time to who's getting stronghold flips.
And you need people that are going to be thinking about that objective. And you also need people that are going to be thinking about positioning, thinking about slays, thinking about getting those kills. It's the perfect recipe that makes these squads click. But
that was an insta right off the rip there from Precision to get that first pick onto Frosty. So a trade there in a 1v2 scenario. Despite Precision going down there, I feel like Sentinels are going to be in a better spot because they had 2 players from FaZe down low. So we're going to have to see if that holds true, how these next kills unfold.
Yeah, and ball carrier actually is going to be bringing that one right over to them. So they'll avoid that for the time being. And potential shock rifle muscle shot from around the corner gets the body shot. And then there you have that one player from control who secures it. So no one really able to get that ball control here as we saw in the beginning parts of this game. But
bubu was ready to rotate in towards the pipes. Then as soon as he realized his teammate got picked off there, he drops it, goes for that shock rifle, and then just tries to be a little wily.
Yeah, you saw him make that jump, and then he was like, oh, no, bring that one back. I'm not going to do that. Incoming. Clock continues to tick on down here.
This is a rougher position here for Sentinels as they flip this map. You just have pipes and elevator in the hands of FaZe. really no way to get that ball control until they get some slays here. And those slays aren't easy slays. You have to go inside pipes or inside elevator unless one of these people ego challenge. And they're not going to ego challenge at this level.
Yeah, and even in that situation there, Frosty went in for that fight, but he had a buddy right behind him that was going to be able to scoop up the remainder of the player that actually eliminated him in that exchange. So it's always going to be those details, right, that are going to be, you have to be mindful when you're playing against FaZe. If you're going up against someone and you see that it's like a 1v1, chances are you're going to have a member of FaZe right around the corner to get that one shot.
Yeah, they're always fighting with purpose.
Yeah, exactly.
Rarely are they going to, especially cross maps, they're not just going to shoot cross map and continue to challenge and take damage unless they have somebody that they feel is going to get their help faster.
Exactly. Now,
Have it tell you almost get to read like by Spartan's body language. Like, all right, well, why are they challenging them from this distance right now? Who's gaining in this trade?
Yeah. And that is the reason why it's so scary to play against FaZe, because they're the type of team that when they're in those fights, they're there for a reason, and they'll find that success.
So one thing I want to highlight, GB, is the score is 5-2 as 2 minutes have already elapsed.
Yeah, bro.
These teams have been slay hungry, want to make sure that they do not give up a setup here on this mode.
We've seen what happens when these teams get setups, how you can just lock them down. We saw that in the live fire Strongholds game, right? Sentinels setup gave them, what, 150 points, I think, unanswered from the in that game mode. And then even in that CTF, we saw how the defense,
wow,
so impressive. My goodness,
he
what a
hits
shot.
that and he lives. Somehow SnakeBite lives that. I thought that plasma was a for sure finish.
Yeah.
Falcated somehow trading out 2 melees quicker than SnakeBite, but you also can't complain there. You just saw we just got away with there, PJ.
You just had a miracle happen to you, man. I think you'll be okay. But this also, to reflect on that score, though, Dave, I mean, yeah, bro, like, we got the lowest possible game you can have, and we're about to hit the 2-minute warning in the first round of this oddball game. Wouldn't shock me if the next one is just like a full send, but this one, they're feeling each other out.
In the past, when I used to play like an oddball or a King of the Hill mode, I would always take that just quick check at the halfway mark. I would say, hey, game's halfway over. What sort of scores are we tracking to? So in a case like this, I would start to reset my target and saying, we have to get 100 points. We have to get around 70 points to win this game based on how the score is going. And you use that and decide how much ball time you're going to go for or how much control you need before you grab the ball. When it's a really scrappy, low-scoring game, those moments of grabbing 2 to 5 seconds matter. When it's a much higher scoring game, you have to go for more kills and go for a full setup.
Yeah. Well, right now, Sentinels are going for the kills, and they have been successful in that one. Managed to get 3 down there for FaZe, as well as that camo, so they'll have a lot to work with here. They got the objective to boot. Falcated's got to get in here and help his teammate out. Big kills coming in here. He got 2 down yet again for FaZe. And even though Falcated, ooh, wow, and that's what I'm saying, right?
You sure
saw that one
engaged
guy.
all 4 players there, just back and forth there, from Sneaky over to Blue to Top Hydro, just every single spot those players were.
And you're going to be in an endless fight in that situation. Ball still up for grabs, though. LethuL trying to get
down for a decent amount of time, too. I don't know exactly how long, but I was just going to say reset was got to be coming in soon there.
It was in your gut. You felt it, Dave.
It's at some point, it's just like, something doesn't feel right. What is it? You know, I guess after playing Halo for 20-some years, you start to have some of those 6 senses.
Yeah.
But I start to lose some of my other senses.
Yes.
Sense of touch, sense of sight.
Yeah.
I can't see cameras on the map no more.
Barely talk. It's crazy. It's crazy. Well, look at this here. Sentinels, they managed to bring this one back. Such a low-scoring game to start things off here on Oddball, but they have managed to get within spitting distance of FaZe's lead. And they have a decent setup here. Where does FaZe? They're going to have to just commit together, push together, but that shock rifle is going to cause problems.
Slay. Also, the beautiful play there by bubu. One, recognizing that there was players going towards long haul, but secondly, after getting that first help towards long haul side, worrying about catwalk, worrying about people pushing in from control. Sentinels taking the lead here in round number 1. As I said before, this one is going to turn down to a slaying game for the most part, so the target in my eyes is around that 70-point mark. So dropping that ball early, going for slays, going for control is going to be the name of the game here from Sentinels.
And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Walsh, but this is like the first time that I've seen Sentinels outslay FaZe in this one, right? I haven't really seen them, so that I think is also another part that we were talking about previously, like what are Sentinels' win conditions, what do they need to do, and definitely, right, leaning into this, the slays, being aggressive, getting in their face, not giving many room to breathe, has worked out
Almost
nicely
gets
for
the
them.
rotation. That is so tough. Ball did not get played.
And
so this is a situation where FaZe were thinking that they could go hold pipes, they could go hold battery, but all of a sudden, Sentinels now have ball over at Hydro. They can play ball if they need to. So not only do they have to go get the kills at Hydro, they have to get controls at pipe.
Very well played there by
Also, no
SnakeBite.
play ball from Sentinels. They don't bring it back Hydro. So I guess they just need to do step one, which is get control of Hydro.
Yeah, well, thanks to SnakeBite, you get yourself a nice triple kill out of that one, and I'll go ahead and get your ball control as well as the lead. It was looking like Sentinels had an opportunity there, but a great coordinated pincer push from SnakeBite gave them exactly what they needed, and now they have that lead.
Ooh, and he gets an early play ball, but nobody from FaZe is over there. The players all died over at pipe side, so we're gonna have to see how and if Sentinels are able to grab this ball and bring it towards pipes. SnakeBite stuck near triple stacks. He's not gonna be much of a factor here. He's just trying to buy time. This is gonna come down to the other members of FaZe. Can they stay alive? Can they get these slays? Frosty has shock rifle. He's trying to keep everyone off of this ball. He's one of the ones last
3
alive.
seconds. He's got to get in there.
Does
One,
not get
and
the
that's
trade,
it.
but bought the time, so that's going to be a first round eked out there by FaZe. Was looking scary for a bit.
It really was, and an incredibly low scoring
Yeah.
first round to start off oddball recharge. The respect there definitely being given on both sides of the field.
A rare quick push over into Hydro.
Uh-huh.
A lot of times you just see kind of the stalemate over towards control side, but Frosty going all the way through onto Hydro.
Ball's been grabbed, but see for how long, because you have vision on Renegade over toward the distance there, and Frosty gets that stop over toward control, and even though there is going to be another player there to meet him, not bad, you know, damage definitely done, but for Precision and the boys over in Sentinels, hey, yeah, the name of the game is the objective, and they got themselves the ball for the time being, but they got to get it out of there because you see the amount of FaZe players that are surrounding that.
Wow, what a weird fight for Falcated to win there.
Yeah.
Just must be on such a quick and high sense builder. Run over towards the bottom elevator, quick whip up, hit that shot as he does like basically a 180 and vertical fight over towards elevator. So impressive for Falcated to win that in a disadvantageous position against Royal 2.
18 kills for Falcated in this one. Precision ahead of him with just 119, but they've both been putting in some work this game. Right now, though, we're going to be keeping our eyes on Renegade.
Look at that objective efficiency, just handoffs back and forth, wasting no time. Playing a little hot potato with that. Back a few more points. There's the reversal. Trying to look for his teammate SnakeBite over there, watching his back.
Maybe was thinking someone was going to push in through the whirlpool, but he knows that that's where the spawns are going to be, which is why he's set up over here. And he got vision on him, so you know, okay, we got two people that are going to be trying to make their way over toward the pipe side. And with 20 seconds left for that camo, Renegade, he had that inclination. Someone's going to be sniffing around there wanting that camouflage. And LethuL was wise to what Renegade was thinking, so he ends up going in there, challenging him, and taking him out.
Yep, successful push coming here out of Sentinels. That's gonna be 3 down. Royal 2, the last one remaining. What's he gonna do here? Ball could not get played. Ball most certainly gonna rotate long haul over to Hydro to be in a play ball position. That's exactly where LethuL wants to get it. But this cross is covered a little bit.
He gets through there.
Two members go down though. LethuL almost just has to play this instantly. They're hoping for a setup here for an extended period of time.
I get it.
And then play it.
Yeah.
They didn't want to just bring the ball to play it immediately.
Yeah, that is the opposite of what you want there. And now that you got yourself the ball again off of that play ball, we'll see what you can gather. If you're FaZe, camo, not long for this world, ends up getting shut down right away. SnakeBite in the pitch is getting all up in the business of Sentinels, and that ball is going to be in no man's land, but Frosty's okay with that because he wants to get in on the action. He's got a weakened Precision in front of him. Finds Falcated as well, who's just in a fight with his teammate, and he knew that he was ripe for the picking, and he does so.
I like this play, just instantly scoop up ball. You don't have to worry if other players are nearby. If they were there, they would have entered the fight already. You know that they're across the map because it's a strong squad like Sentinels. They're going to be spread out across the map in different positions like that. They're not just going to all for sure clump up in 3 or 4 people in one area. So many times when you get those couple kills right near their objective, you can be certainly safe just to grab it.
But I gotta give commend, you gotta commend Falcated in that one. A big flank that he managed to pull up while his teammates were applying pressure over to the pipe side here where nades are. So that got them the ball again and gets them a little bit closer to that lead that FaZe has managed to build up.
Look at the setup here. Sentinels, probably one of the best setups we've seen so far here on Recharge Oddball. Falcated Cursed by gaming timing. Turns away from Catwalk as that person crosses through, but it doesn't matter. His shots are better. He takes out Frosty. Dodging Royal 2 buys time for LethuL to come over and help.
What a guy.
But throughout that entire engagement over at Elevator, FaZe, they break through on the pipe side. They distract, fight at Elevator. They fight a full separate fight over at Pipes, and they win the more important pipe battle.
They had the distraction play happening over on one side of the map. While that was taking place, they tried to get that ball back over in their favor, but Sentinels with a great response gets it right back, and they'll have that lead here. 3 minutes left to play with, and here comes Royal 2 to help out his teammate. He's flying right in there, but he ends up getting shot in the back of the head, and that's bubu dubu saving his teammate, and maybe even giving themselves an opportunity here to potentially walk away with this win if they can put this together. But it's going to be a lot of work to do here if you're Sentinels, but you got that lead to work with.
Just bodies dropping there. I think bubu felt like he saw a couple kills that he got, so he's like, I can go out and fly, grab this ball, right? But numbers still evened out across the map. Ball somehow still not grabbed and still safe. Let's take a quick check-in at our halfway mark, GB. And according to my rule of thumb science, I think this was going to go to 100 points. You know?
You're an oddballologist?
Oddballologist.
Oddologist? We'll find it out. We'll get. I'm sure.
I mean, obviously, this game plays different than many other objectives in the past. It's the timer stops, everything there. But just goes to show the pacing and the way these teams have been setting up. And it's not just small as a scrap time. It is longer setups. So I fully intend to see this one go the distance.
World 2 might need to get over to Renegade, give him some coverage, but say he's just going to play that ball. Renegade surrounded by 3 players. You got 2 over toward Hydro, and he had 1 that was sitting up top toward Glass. Renegade wants to go ahead and just take out that target, so he does so. But that does mean Sentinels, because of that play ball, they're in a position to be able to grab it here. Massive new combo connection there for SnakeBite. New bitch combo. You know, it's bandit, not the VR. Take what we can.
There's 2 down. And I like this play, just fly instantly. Sometimes people get a little too greedy and try to let their teammates deal with back Hydro, and sometimes you don't have the firepower needed. And then all of a sudden you find yourself stuck over at Glass or over at Pipes. When in doubt, you gotta overload the Hydro side. You gotta bring enough people out there.
Yeah, so much space to work with there too, right? And some wonky, awkward angles. Most definitely, but FaZe now, let's not forget here that this is Sentinels tournament life on the line, and they're up by 1 point in this oddball game. If they do not win this end, if they do not tie up this game, it will be over and Sentinels are going home. FaZe live to fight another day and defend their title here at the Halo World Championship. The Sentinels are not going to be going out without a fight. They want to try and pick up this dub and take it over to Game 5.
Such a great challenge there by Precision, timing that perfectly when Renegade's throwing the grenade. Sentinels taking the lead here in round number 2, but they just have to win these next couple battles if they want to win this entire round.
Yeah, big fights happening here. Falcated with that grapple shot's going to get himself in a position up top elevator to help out his teammates there. You can see, I believe that was Renegade in the POV going for a challenge.
At this point, you just got to hold and pray, and I don't see
they got it.
From FaZe able to stop this. Going 99-100. That's going to be Sentinels tying up here on oddball recharge. We're going to a round 3.
They needed it. They needed this one like they needed to breathe, man. If they do not, that was it. Their tournament was done. Here we go, though. It all comes down to this.
I also just had a little birdie in my ear.
Uh-oh.
Said a B-Stream update. Shopify Rebellion have been eliminated. They lost to Pure.
Whoa!
What a shakeup and what a wild card, some would say, into this event.
But you know what's crazy about that is you and I were literally, when we casted Pure earlier, I think it was Pure ITV, right? Or I forget who it was, but I know it was Pure. And we were talking about
C9.
Oh, it was C9. It was like one of these teams are going to make that deep run in the tournament. Yep. Look at that. Wow. Congratulations to Pure. They're making it to Championship Sunday. But for now, though, let's set our sights here on this Sentinels FaZe matchup.
Upsets can and do happen. Can it happen again here in the form of Sentinels versus FaZe? They got the work cut out for them, but they've shown that they're equal here against FaZe on this map, on this mode. Slays are 92 kills for Sentinels, 90 kills for FaZe. So they're going punch for punch, but who's going to be more objective efficient? This one's already tracking to be a slay-heavy round. We only see 9 seconds on the board here in this round number 3.
Big win there for Precision. Gets himself that shock rifle now. Only has 2 shots to work with, but should be enough to at least put some damage, help his teammate out. Unfortunately, you just saw bubu just get bombed by some grenades there and just get obliterated. And unfortunately for Precision, we came around the corner, well timed there by FaZe. They shut down that player with the shock rifle and get the ball.
Just a perfect collapse there by FaZe as soon as they got those kills as well. Nobody hesitated and took the long route. They just flew straight across mid-bridge, had it cut off, made sure that ball couldn't get to pipes. And now they've already put on 12 points of their own on the board. But eyes got to be on camo soon. See what Sentinels are going to do if they can get that. But I feel like they're not just going to sit and wait for 10 seconds before that's up. What a nice sticky trade there from SnakeBite.
I was going to say that was pretty big for them, but I don't think they were able to get that camo out of that one. Nope, instead it was going to be bubu dubu. We'll have the ball. Oh, wait a minute.
Unsuspecting play there. So Frosty gets the play ball for Batledge and then just jumps out to grab him. So he doesn't want to be a sitting target over in pipes and somehow finds the camo right there and gets a beautiful trade. So
take those.
What a play by Frosty. Their team would be in much more trouble right now, even though they're not in a great spot. But they'd be in even more trouble if Frosty was not able to get that trade. Laying down a shroud over towards top glass. Team's gonna be able to push over from control and mid-bridge here. Gets a sneak on over towards the ball and gets the trade.
Yeah, I actually thought that could have ended up being a stick there for a moment with the way that grenade was like moving.
Stuck on. They got stuck on like the ball or something?
Yeah, I don't know. It looked like it just disappeared as well, but probably wasn't. SnakeBite does get oddball control though, speaking of that. Down by a sizable amount here.
Also, taking a look at the objective players, we talked about how bubu, he's usually getting about 40% of his team's ball time. SnakeBite, definitely not on that 50% mark. In fact, Frosty's been the main ball carrier throughout this round. You got to wonder if that's strategic or just how the cards fall during this one.
Yeah, and, you know, I mean, knowing the FaZe guys and how long we've been commentating them, it probably boils down to that's just how it, you know, played out. But in most instances, SnakeBite will do his best to just go after that objective. But, you know, I think what we've been seeing over the years from the FaZe guys is, you know, they all will play those roles when they need to. It kind of goes back to what we were talking about before, Dave. Everyone's got to do a little bit of everything. But yes, you have some people who are specialists in other areas. Big win there for SnakeBite.
Nice shot there from SnakeBite, making the most of the last bullet there from his bandit. He's gonna go straight for this ball, tries to get a little time. There's 3 down from Sentinels. No better time than the present. Grabs that ball, knows who the last player is. Gotta be long haul or at glass. Looks like Falcated at glass, Royal 2 trying to defend him off.
Royal 2 knew that someone was
Great play there also by Sentinels. Not only did they have Falcated push in towards pipes, they had players instantly shooting that pipe exit, throwing grenades there. So Royal 2 trying to wall peek there is just getting bombarded by grenades. So Sentinels, having talked through that entirely, saying, hey, when we're pushing through gold or through pipes, we need this help from control side. We need somebody to watch this exit. Perfectly executed there by Sentinels.
And they benefited a decent amount of points as a result of that. 30 to boot. Clean shot there on the Renegade. Falcated is going to bring this one across to actually drop it down to the pit because he knew that he was losing teammates left, right, and center. So he's going to bring that one down low. And you got those players on Sentinel spawning over toward the yellow side.
Also, I didn't do the check-in at the halfway mark. I would guess that Sentinels maybe around the 40-ish mark. So we'll see how it transpires, but we could see this game maybe ending around like the 80, 85 point mark. But also, we've been seeing in round number 2 so many strong and long setups that at any point they can get this setup, hold it for 50, 60 points in a row.
Exactly. Frosty's got to play this ball. He has no other choice. The pressure was a little too much there from Sentinels. Great push on their end, but because of that, it means play ball, and FaZe are going to go back to the drawing board here.
And Slane could not be any more close. We talked about before when it was around like the 90 to 92. I'm looking at our Prowler right here. It is 123 kills for FaZe and 122 kills for Sentinels.
Very close
just
game.
Neck and neck. It's just coming down to objective efficiency, and Sentinels coming out ahead here in round number 3.
So far, but we got FaZe with ball control. It's going to be World 2's got it. It's got some help there with Frosty as well. No one really in the area for Sentinels to challenge it, but they're
trying to get that rotate.
Yeah.
And this is tough. Frosty trying to lay down fire, keep that ball rotating over through long. But that ball is stopped, and here comes the push from Sentinels. Can any of the spawners help them out? You see Renegade and SnakeBite trying to buy time, but too much pressure coming in from top glass and from Trippy. They have the numbers, but kills are answers. Gonna be one-on-one Precision versus Frosty.
3 down on
They know where
side.
each other's at.
Frosty's got himself the camo. 45 seconds to work with here. Sentinels need this win. If they don't, that's it. It's curtains for the run here at the Halo World Championship. Frosty's got eyes, but he's got the trade. So camo won't really be much of a factor here. Last couple seconds, and now you got someone that's got to get that ball right here and now.
And it's just got to come out FaZe side. Right now, Sentinels are happy to drain this clock. They just want to trade out kills and let this game and round end. But one good ball stack, one grab here from FaZe could be the difference maker. Who's in position? LethuL grabbing that grapple. Probably going back towards bat ledge to grapple it back. We will see if that comes into play. Ball grab. Huge kill from SnakeBite.
That holds him back. They can't get in. This is actually going to give them the lead here. There's only 10 seconds left.
Now, how quick does he drop is the question. Does he drop it right at 53 and try to slay for 10 seconds? Looks like he wants one extra second of room for error, but that ball goes flying. They did not mean to drop it out there.
Yeah, but it's in the corner, though. 3 seconds remaining. They only got 2 points, and that is going to do it. FaZe Clan pick up the win, and Sentinels made them work for that one inch by inch, but FaZe managed to pick up the dub.
FaZe just too icy at the end, calm and collected. Only outslayed by 2 kills and winning by 2 seconds. But they played it perfectly at the end. Grabbed that last ball, scrapped up that time. Almost accidentally played the ball a little too far out.
Yeah.
If that fell in towards pit, or if that fell too far out past batteries, someone could snag it a second or 2.
I will say, though, putting it in the corner, that's dirty.
Yeah, the corner's all right.
Because you just chuck as many nades as you can in the corner, man. You know,
I guess that's true.
Imagine you see that grenade, you're like, oh, I'm going to go
I thought they were just going to hold it in pipe because it felt like they had the numbers there. Just keep it in pipe, just lay them out nearby. But, you know, I'm not the 2023 world champion, so what do I know?
Hey, fair. Neither am I. I never was.
FaZe are making it to Sunday.
Well played by FaZe Clan. They live to fight another day. It was a tough day, without a doubt. Their one loss coming in the hands of Space Station Gaming in an awesome series that we saw earlier today. And Sentinels, you know what, Dave? I have to give Sentinels as much credit as we possibly can. It's the last time we're going to be able to talk about them here, so let's just go ahead and pop off the bottom. We were seeing incredible setups. We were seeing some great snipe plays from LethuL. I want to see more from Precision. Bubu Dubu is great. Falcated is fantastic. I am excited, regardless of, you know, what happens with these Sentinels boys. So much talent on that side of the field. Curious to see what they do for that next season. But I really did like what we were seeing from them here today. Just wasn't enough.
Could have been, you know, a couple seconds, one direction there. We would have been seeing a game 5, and who knows what would have happened. But what we now currently will be seeing is going to be FaZe Clan versus Pure in the elimination semifinals.
Whew. Damn. I did not think that was going to happen. You know, with Rebellion playing pretty damn good.
Exactly. I mean, that's
our
top
start.
4.
Yeah, that's our top 4.
Got FaZe, Pure, SSG, and Optic.
Well played, well played. Well, let's see. Is Blaze ready to go? He should be ready. He should be ready in a moment here. I think he's with Royal 2 standing by. So we got Blaze there. We're going to do the NWO. There you go. Take it away, brother.